All right, guys, we're into December. We're going to talk about what I watched this first week of the month. We're going to try to focus. I watched quite a good amount of movies. We watched 8 movies the first week of December. So we can dive right in. Try to watch some Christmas movies, although with events going on, only watched a few Christmas films. We'll talk about some of them, and then I just watched some stuff to keep it light. So the first thing we checked out was a rewatch from last year, and that is Last Christmas, starring Henry Golding and Emilia Clarke. Really dug this movie last year in theaters. Has a great soundtrack, especially if you're a fan of George Michael. But Emilia Clarke is fantastic as the lead in the film. She has great chemistry with Henry Golding. So it made it a fun rewatch for sure. You can pick up on certain things that you didn't see the first time, which I found it to be much more enjoyable. You can probably hear the cat meowing in the room because I have her closed in so I can get these videos recorded. But yeah, it's interesting to rewatch this film because you'll definitely pick up on certain things that you wouldn't have paid attention to the first time. But after seeing the movie, you can definitely pick up on certain things that make it more enjoyable on a rewatch for sure. So Last Christmas, 3.5 out of 5. Definitely still enjoyed that. The next thing we watched was Happiest Season on Hulu. The hottest holiday movie of the year, probably, at least on streaming services. So, new holiday movie, tons of buzz on the internet. The cast looked great, the trailer looked great, so we wanted to check it out. The movie was fairly funny. However, thought it would be a lot funnier based on the trailers. Was expecting more of just a straight holiday romantic comedy movie, and there was comedy in it, but definitely a lot of like drama and it wasn't, I don't know. There were certain parts of the movie that were funny. Jane, who was played by Mary Holland, highlighted the movie. She plays Mackenzie Davis and Allison Brie's sister. Funniest part of the movie by far. She was hilarious in the film. So she was the highlight. Also, I have so many notes here. Kristen Stewart was the co-lead with Mackenzie Davis. It's basically about a couple, Mackenzie Davis and Kristen Stewart, and Mackenzie Davis is going to her family's for Christmas, and her parents don't know that she's out. She's a lesbian. So she really wants her girlfriend, played by Kristen Stewart, to go and be with her. However, she tells her parents that she is an orphan friend / roommate. So there's humor in that. But there's also some heartbreaking stuff as well that comes along with it. Aubrey Plaza plays an ex-girlfriend of Mackenzie Davis. She's also very good in the movie. And Daniel Levy, Eugene Levy's son, he's in Schitt's Creek, plays Kristen Stewart's gay best friend, basically. And he's very funny in the movie, but he wasn't in it quite enough. I wish he was in it a bit more. Is this one I'll rewatch in the future? Possibly. Is it like a holiday must-see every year? No, but definitely a fun watch. I would say it's a light watch, but there's some I want to say heavier things, but there's definitely some realness to it. I give it a 3 out of 5. It was an enjoyable watch. The next thing I can't say as good of things about as the last two, and that is Love the Coopers. This movie has an amazing cast. If you look at the cast just on the front, which doesn't include everybody, Alan Arkin, John Goodman, Ed Helms, Diane Keaton, Jake Lacey, Anthony Mackie, Amanda Seyfried, June Squibb, Marissa Tomei, Olivia Wilde. Also features a young Timothy Chalamet, the voice of Steve Martin. So a loaded cast. This movie very much gave me Family Stone vibes by the description, by the artwork, like a family getting together at the holidays. So the problem is this movie has a lot of problems. The way it's shot is very weird. There's a lot of rapid cuts between people when they're having conversations that aren't overly dramatic, just a regular conversation. It's like a fast, rapid cut, and the way it's shot is weird, almost like I almost like felt like Collateral vibes, the style it was shot. If you've seen Collateral, you might know what I mean, if you've seen both of them. It fights to tie all the stories together, because obviously it's about a family, but there's a bunch of mini stories that connect the family. The camera work was dizzying in parts. Just, I don't know. It just felt really messy. I want to say this was a Dollar Tree movie, although I might have gotten this at Pam's before it became a Dollar Tree movie. This will not make the shelves. It was a one-time watch for me. 1.5 out of 5. Like I said, it's another example of a loaded cast. Why haven't I watched this movie? Then you watch it and go, that's why. Not really great. 1.5 out of 5. I love the Coopers. Next up, a movie that I was really looking forward to checking out this year because it finally was coming out. After almost 3 years of delays, finally was being released. It came out in theaters. I obviously have not gone to the movies since March of 2020. The last thing we saw was The Hunt, I believe, in March, right before theaters closed. I did not go back when Regal opened for like a month in the summer, and they've closed again. I don't have like an independent theater, and plus I don't think I would go to the movies right now personally. There's so much that I have to watch, as you can see. So much coming out at home that I can watch, and just I don't feel comfortable in the theater. But anyway, the movie is The New Mutants on 4K. I don't know if I've shown this in a video yet. Probably not. I'm going to say this will be in my big Facebook haul for November and the early part of December. So, finally got the chance to sit down and watch it. Lots of familiar faces in the cast. You have Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, Anna Taylor-Joy, who's in Glass. She's in The Queen's Gambit. The kid who plays the guy in the show, Charlie Heaton, who's on Stranger Things, and a couple faces I didn't recognize. I believe it's Blue Hunt, BLU Hunt, which is cool because her name's spelled like Blu-ray. But this movie, I have to agree with other people. This is just it's mediocre. That is the way I describe the movie. It's not awful, not great. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It takes too long to get to the mutants and their powers, and the beginning part isn't entertaining enough to really keep me on the edge of my seat. It does look good on 4K, I will say that. And the movie only runs for 90 minutes, and it felt all of 90 minutes, if not longer, which isn't a good thing. Like I said, when they finally ramp it up in the third act, it almost feels like it's too little, too late. So I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I honestly don't know if this will stay on the shelf, maybe for a little bit, but I don't see myself revisiting this one anytime soon, sadly. So, New Mutants, it just felt to me. That's my personal opinion. However, this next thing isn't a meh film. This is a fantastic movie, and that is Rocket Man, this being the 4K Steelbook. We've recently talked about wanting to revisit this. We haven't watched it since we saw it in theaters. And we were looking for just something that would look cool on 4K and just kind of enjoy the music in the movie. And boy, this movie does not disappoint, especially on a rewatch. Taron Egerton as Elton John, fantastic. He does all his own singing in the movie. This movie is very much a musical, not like Bohemian Rhapsody was a biopic, and Rami Malek did a lot of lip syncing, and there were other audio, actual recordings of Freddie Mercury along with people who can imitate Freddie Mercury's voice. This is all Taron Egerton's voice and the other cast members. The music is so well done. It's such an entertaining film from start to stop. Just a beautiful looking movie as well. Looked fantastic on 4K. The story has a lot of grit and realness. It was R-rated, which I think is something that Bohemian Rhapsody dropped the ball on. You have that rock and roll, lifestyle. Obviously, Freddie Mercury was indulgent in the rock and roll lifestyle, sex, drugs, rock and roll. This movie definitely displays that. And I gave Rocketman a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely highly recommend this if you have not seen it. Rocketman, fantastic movie. And then the next flick, I talked about watching The Wedding Singer recently and said that I was going to watch Going the Distance after I recorded my last set of videos, and I did. As soon as I was done recording, heated up my dinner, sat down on the couch and watched Going the Distance just last night. Today's December 8th. I actually watched 3 movies last night. Well, 2.5, and I finished the one this morning. So, Going the Distance, a fun romantic comedy from 2010, I believe. Fantastic cast once again. Drew Barrymore and Justin Long play the love interest, the main characters. They meet while Drew Barrymore is on she's an internship in New York for a newspaper. She lives in California. Justin Long works for a record label. They meet, they hit it off. They decide to do a long distance relationship. Justin Long lives with his buddy Charlie Day, his roommate, and then he has a really good friend at work played by Jason Sudeikis. And then you have Christina Applegate, who plays Drew Barrymore's sister, whom she lives with. Her husband is Jim Gaffigan. So lots of familiar faces. And this movie has a lot of really good quotes. It's fun to see an R-rated romantic comedy. I enjoy romantic comedies, but to see R-rated stuff, I think of like Love Actually, Knocked Up, The Sweetest Thing, like R-rated chick flick romantic comedies. I enjoy them. I enjoy PG-13 ones as well, but the R-rated ones have like another sense of realness. Another movie I've been wanting to rewatch, which I might do today, is What's Your Number, with Chris Evans and Anna Faris, I believe, and lots of other familiar faces, if I'm not mistaken. So, Going the Distance, a fun watch for sure. I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed the movie. It's a great chick flick. Music and Lyrics is another fun movie, but not going to revisit that today. So next up is another 2020 film that I didn't get to see. This was the first major movie to come out in theaters after the pandemic started. It wanted to make sure it was first out of the gate. It actually had a decent box office. Because of that, it had some holding power in theaters because not a lot came out. And that is the Russell Crowe-led Unhinged. This movie will make you think twice about road rage, honking your horn at somebody. This movie is just a fun 85-minute action movie. There were several scenes where I was like, ooh, that did not just happen. Like, that happened 3 or 4 times in this movie. Definitely a good watch. Definitely gritty. Definitely earns its R rating for sure. Russell Crowe was intense in this movie. Basically stalking a mom and her like early teenage, late tween-age son, and getting revenge for her laying on her horn at him in the morning. That's all I'll say. Like I said, multiple scenes in which I was like shocked what happened on the screen. Was not expecting it. It's not going to win any Oscars or any Golden Globes, but it is still a heck of a ride. Unhinged, I gave it 3 out of 5. Definitely recommend checking this flick out. And then the last thing that I finished watching this morning, watched most of it last night and just had a very long day, was ready to go to sleep, and that is Buddy Games. Yes, I bought Buddy Games because I just wanted something stupid to watch, and this movie is basically about a group of friends, 6 lifelong friends, who get together every year for a lot of drinking and playing a lot of stupid games. This movie was written, directed, and stars Josh Duhamel, and it's based on true events. Josh Duhamel and his group of friends host Buddy Games every year. There's definitely a dramatization to this. He was on Jimmy Kimmel talking about it recently. There's a $150,000 prize for the Buddy Games in this movie. That's never the case. And the games are a little more ramped up in this than what normally happen. Normally they play like kickball. They'll do paintball and other like stuff like that. Nothing as crazy that is in this movie. But it's a stupid R-rated comedy. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. Probably something I'll never have to watch again. This was probably a one-time watch and then sell. Also stars Dan Bacadal, who I don't even know who he is, but he's one of the lead characters in this movie. But Kevin Dillon, who you might know as Drama from Entourage, Olivia Munn, James Roday, who you know from Psych, Dax Shepard, and Nick Swardson, as well as Josh Duhamel. So, just a fun movie. It's R-rated, it's vulgar, there's cringy comedy, there's some funny stuff in this as well. It was a WWE Studios picture and also features an appearance by Sheamus. Fella. That was my Sheamus. So yeah, that was for you, Jacob. J2H. That was my Sheamus impression. So yeah, I gave this a 2 out of 5. Definitely not the worst thing I've seen this year, Swing of Things. So I won't be chucking this movie across my living room. But definitely not a masterpiece. 2 out of 5 for Buddy Games. Not even the worst thing I watched the first week of December. So, very cool. And that is it, guys. That is everything I watched this first week of December. I have a few more videos to record, and I'll be done recording until 2021. Hopefully 2021 is a better year than this year. All I'll say, 2020 has been something else. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Also, subscribe if you guys don't do so already. Hit the bell notification so you guys know when new videos are coming to the channel. Also, check out the description box down below. Wish my glasses would stay on my face. Description box down below where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, eBay page, Letterboxd where I rate and review all the movies I watch, my Blu-ray.com profile, Amazon wishlist, email address, P.O. Box, all can be found down below. And that is it, guys. So as always, until next time, who's down to movie? I don't know what I just did there. Bye.